And we are live and on the air. This is Omni Bros Live. I'm OmniDog, also known as Command F. And we've got... Wait. What the hell's playing?
What?
Oh my gosh. The show was playing for some reason. The show's ads were playing.
It's because of our theme tonight.
Books with that magical touch?
Yep.
That's weird. That's never happened to me before. What? What? How did that happen?
It's magic, man.
Magic.
The Gathering.
Wow, that really stumped me. Anyway, I'm OmniDog, and I'm joined with the Week in Geekdoms, Gio. Gio, how's it going, buddy?
Hey, Jess. Hi, Riley. Hi, everybody in the chat. Hi, everybody watching at home, wherever you may be. Thank you so much for tuning in to another installment here at Omni Bros Live.
And that's really weird because it's already... Okay, so let me ask the chat. Are you actually seeing the show? Because what I'm seeing right now is an ad right now playing for the show, and I'm not seeing anybody in the chat. Just look at those beautiful faces. All right, thank you, Mutant Menace. I assume you're talking about us, or are you talking about the ads that are playing? And we also have Riley Move, the omnibus collector himself, who's been putting up more and more videos recently, including one with purple shorts. Riley, how's it going?
Yeah, apparently the disappointment was that it was my leg and not my midriff that was showing.
Your
so
midriff,
I think it was
wow.
I think it was James Dayrit who said that. So I'm sorry, James. I will show more midriff. I've got that Endgame Thor bod going on, so I'll be sure to share that. That's the new dad bod. Like it went from like all the ladies wanted you to have 6 packs and abs, and then they wanted the dad bod, and now they want the Thor bod.
The Thor bod. Right.
And the thing is, the Thor bod is like both ends of that spectrum, so that's fun.
Well, I'm not sure how I can segue from that into in-stock trades, but I'm going to try.
If you want to, I'll do it.
Okay, go for it.
If you want to get the abs going on, a great way to do that is to order plenty of books from our sponsor, In Stock Trades, and lift those real heavy boxes.
There you go. Nice job there, Rye. InStockTrades.com, where you can get up to 50% off your collected editions. Loyalty discounts add 2% to that. Every quarter, there's an Omni Bros live discount code. Over $50 in an order in the United States. That gets you free shipping. Fabulous customer service. Fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com. Can you name that theme song?
Jess got a new script for Painkillers.
No, I don't see her till tomorrow.
So you finished off the bottle before you got more pills. I got you.
I'm not saying I didn't do that. That's possible.
But no, I don't know that one.
That is the theme from Underdog.
Oh.
Do you know
I didn't
Underdog?
recognize it. I'm sorry.
I do know Underdog.
I know Underdog, but I don't remember the song.
You should have.
I may not have done the song justice. That's possible.
You should have done something more magic, man.
Oh, that's true. How about da 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 da. That's the theme song from Bewitched.
What about
Gotta wiggle your noses.
Yeah.
You got the second one right on target. So we are let's see. talking about magical books.
Yes. Magic
Magical
heroes,
mystery
magic
tour.
stories, magical adventures. Because,
Dude.
the experience of reading a comic book can be pretty magical.
Nathan Burkles has a burr under his saddle, and that burr's name is Heroes in Crisis. I cannot wait to read this story.
Yeah, we're going to have to review that.
And ETL,
Yeah,
no, when I have a stroke, you'll know. I'm just having fun.
We 100% discussed having that as a review book from IST.
Heroes in Crisis?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
We 100, like, Jess, you were in on the conversation.
Yeah.
We 100% talked about this.
I know.
So when the hardcover comes out, I guarantee, like, I think we're just gonna do a whole show about it, honestly.
Yeah.
When the last issue comes out, I will definitely, because I've been reading it. I don't know who else has been reading it as far as us, issue by issue, but I will definitely talk about it just to alleviate a little bit of Nathan's stress. So that way Nate can have something to hold him over until the hardcover comes out and we review that whole story, and we'll get as many takes as we can, 4 or 5 takes on that instead of just my take. Anyway, but magic books.
Yeah, I've got a lot of magic books laid out, and you and I were talking about it. And there's a lot of magical characters in each universe, and that's not even counting some of the magic stuff like Fatale or something like that. Although I guess that's more occult, and that's why we decided to cut the occult off.
A lot of books right there.
Yeah.
Sorry, just checking what was going on. So who wants to start? But yeah, there's a lot of I was like driving home and I'm like, magic. And I'm like, oh, well, there's a mutant named Magic who's one of the best X-Men characters out there, and there's Doctor Strange and every character connected to him and Brother Voodoo, and I'm just like going further and further and further, and I'm like, dang, like I didn't even at first when y'all said magic, I was like, magic? What? But yeah, so I don't know who wants to go first. Who wants to talk about what? I can chime in because I probably read most of what you guys are going to talk about.
Okay.
I don't have that many books to be able to show myself since everything's in storage.
You can be the color commentator.
Cool.
I can go. I'll talk about 2 books that you guys probably don't know much about. One just came out, and it's going to be a Netflix show, and it's by Mark Millar, however you want to say his last name, Mark Millar. And I don't know how you say Olivier Coipel. I don't know how. I don't know. I'm not good at this pronunciation of these artists' names, but the Olivier Coipel's art in this book is like a 10 out of 10. And I understand why some people are so think that Mark Millar is so hit and miss, because he really is. He can hit something out of the park, and then he can be really clunky on some other stuff. But The Magic Order is the name of this book. It's not really an original idea. It's the idea is that says there's a reason you've never seen a ghost. By day, these people live among us as our friends, neighbors, and co-workers. By night, they are the sorcerers, magicians, and wizards that protect us from the forces of darkness. And they're a big family, and somebody is killing them off. Somebody's trying to kill them off, and it's really well done. This gal, she's like the rebel child, Moonstone. They're the Moonstone family, and she's got issues with her family
Finding the truth is very important for my journey.
she's got she's the rebel child. She's the rebel Moonstone. she is there's a bunch of moonstones in this book, starting with the grandfather, and they live inside the castle is inside this painting, and you walk inside this painting, and that's where the castle is, and that's where their meeting room is, and they meet to talk about who is killing them off, because somebody is killing off these like impregnable, and I don't mean not able to be impregnated, but these unkillable magicians. Somebody's killing them off one by one and trying to steal this particularly difficult book to obtain. And this woman right here in the gimp mask with the guy right here is the one killing them off. She has a special way to do it. And they're getting Granny here in the back seat. They get the cab to fill up with water. And so they're offing these magicians in various ways. And the magicians start to fight back. And it is an extremely well told book. It is really interesting. Like, as I say, it wasn't, it starts out as not the most original premise, but it's a very original story and plot with characters that are really cool. And you start to really root for this girl, the daughter, who is the rebel, because she is the one that is ends up being the main character in it. She's a bit of an escapologist, and that plays heavily into the story. So it's also going to be a Netflix series that is directed or produced. Cordelia Moonstone, escapologist. There we go. It's going to be a James Wan produced. James Wan from Aquaman. He is going to be producing it for Netflix. So I am going to be on board for watching that. And I give this book extremely high marks, not only for its excellent art, but for its excellent. Okay, now I can unmute you, Riley. I muted you for a second because you were really loud. Wait, now how do I unmute you? Can you unmute? Oh, there you go.
I got it.
Okay.
It might be because Megan's watching TV in the back. Can y'all hear the TV? Because I can move if I have to.
I think you need to move, actually. Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that.
I'm kicking you out of that room. Yeah. So this book is really, I consider this 5 out of 5 stars. It's all
Nice.
one and done in 1 through 6, because it's full of bloody vengeance, revenge, lots of magic, lots of fun, tricks up their sleeve, inventive deaths, and I thought it was great. I was really thought it was really well done. I get why people sometimes don't like Mark Millar. He's uneven, but he's firing on all cylinders in this book, I think, and the artwork is A+. So I dug this magic book a lot. Have you read it, Gio?
I have not read it, but I'm a huge fan of Coipel, and I cannot wait to dig into that because it looks awesome.
Coipel. Okay, Coipel. I think you'd really like this. I think you'd really like it, Gio.
I did
read it. Is it a finished story, or?
It is, yeah. I think there's room for other adventures, but yeah, it's a finished story in this book.
What's marked on there as book 1, because I think that he's planning on continuing it. But
right.
Mark Millar is one of those people that I feel like he leaves a lot of his stories where he's like, oh yeah, this is part 1 and I could continue it and stuff, but doesn't always immediately revisit. But yeah, I read this as it was coming out in singles, and I honestly don't remember much about it, so I feel like I probably should reread it at some point.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get it.
That's the issue with reading like over 100 different series a month, is you kind of don't remember everything that's going on in all of them.
I think this reads better too. This is why collected editions are my preferred format, because this read really well as a collected edition. I really enjoyed this like this. I'm really all about that collected edition life.
I think a lot of series really do read better in that format. It's just the way that people are writing nowadays. And I think that was something that I brought up in our episode about tropes and stuff or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people write for trade. They write stories that are benefited from reading in trade. Which it stinks because like it's harder for me to sit down and churn out a 6-issue book than it is for me to read the 1 issue every month. So, but a story like that, I don't remember all of it because it's written so focused for like how the 6 issues are all going to be held together and read it as one unit. And then, so I need to go back and read it basically.
I'm laughing because Trigonosis says, white background and ceiling fan? It's like watching one of Luis's videos but without all his excess laundry.
Oh, I did my laundry. I definitely did my laundry.
Trigonosis, you're a stitch.
I can take y'all to my library, but it's like in boxes.
Yeah, I think that I'm glad that I'm done with single issues, because I think even if I got 6 single issues together to read, I still think it's better in one single book to read them that way.
Agreed.
Yeah. What else, man? What else?
The other thing I wanted to talk about before you guys start talking about regular books was to just do a quick review of a magic book that I put in my top 10, I think, a couple years ago, and that's Kingsway West. This is a Dark Horse book, and I will do my usual thing that Kristen likes to make fun of, but by showing you pictures and reading the back of the book. After spending 13 years in a war that made him a monster, a Chinese gunslinger named Kingsway Law just wants to live in peace with his wife, Sonia. But even in a fantastical Old West crackling with magic, a man of his skills can never quite disappear. So when a woman with a red gold is the magic substance in this particular Wild West. Red gold sword brings bloody chaos to his doorstep. Kingsway must fight for his life, his wife, and his very soul. Red gold is the magical stuff in this book, and it's the Wild West that has a civil war that lasts a long time. The slaves in this book all have wings. They have been freed from slavery, but they've all got wings. I'm due for a reread of this book. It was so damn good. The Civil War, it's got dragons. The Civil War had a much different take to it, and there's dragons in it, and it's so great. There's so much going on in it. It's by Greg Pak. It's got great artwork, and it's lively, action-packed magic with flying former slaves and angels with red gold swords, and a Chinese cowboy that's trying to just get back to his wife, and it's full of amazing magical things in a Wild West that we never knew. So it's really amazing. I'd like to see another volume of this because it was really remarkable. I picked it as one of my top books of the year, maybe like 2016 or so.
It looks really, really like a mashup of genres, and
I think it is.
styles.
Yeah. It's like fantasy, science fiction, history type of thing. Yeah, it's really cool.
Nice.
And one more thing before I turn this over, I had a copy of Astonishing X-Men that I opened. It was sealed, of course, because I read the trades and then I upgraded to the omnibus. So I unsealed it for a video that I did, And as I unsealed it, I think this thing was open and resealed by some other, like by a comic store or by a third-party vendor, because like this fake $100 bill came out, and then two little SIM cards with people's names on them
Oh,
came
that's
out.
weird.
Like, I'm wondering if they were sending me messages or something.
That's the plot of like a really complicated sci-fi thriller.
Yeah, like, why would that be in my Astonishing X-Men book?
It's probably like you put the SIM cards in and then you get sucked into this like whole adventure of like someone calls that phone and they're like, you need to go here, bring the book.
Oh,
like that.
Exactly.
and it's Qui-Gon Jinn on the other side of the phone, and he's like, I have a set of skills, and but I don't even know where would I stick these SIM cards? Like, what do these even go into?
Phones.
Ober. Let me check.
Is that like a foreign service?
I
Like
think so.
Oberthur?
Um,
I don't know. It's like, that's why I decided to wait and not wait till we got on the air, because
This is
I
like
wanted everybody to be in on this.
this is the beginning of a weird like creepypasta story online, like
exactly.
like Ben Drowns or Pets Cop. I don't know if anyone's seen that, but like this is the shit. It's like Ben Drowns, where they're like, we found this weird copy of Majora's Mask, and then it's really weird, and there's like a ghost inside the game and shit. Yeah, dude, it's 100%. That's like this big ongoing story. They find a copy of Majora's Mask at a garage sale, and it's like this thing where it has like a ghost inside the game, and it's fucking with the guy that has it.
I wonder if I should go get the book and see if there's anything else in it, because obviously it wasn't the kind of seal that you get from Marvel. It was the kind that somebody at a comic book store did themselves.
They were trying to get rid of those SIM cards.
But why
I
would they put 'em-
googled the name, and it directs me to a page called Idemia: Enter the World of Augmented Identity, where the leader in
God.
augmented identities in an increasingly digital world. This sounds pretty creepy. I don't know.
Yeah, Jess, I think
Might
you
be
should
onto
steal that into another book and sell that book on eBay far away.
Let me go get the book and see if there's anything else in it. I'll be right.
Oh, this is weird. Yeah. This is like the plot of a mystery movie.
No, it's this. This is gonna be like everyone after this show, like everyone that watched the show is gonna be looking into this augmented reality thing. Like, what is this? We're not gonna hear from Jess after tonight.
Oh no, probably he's been tagged by the FBI or something. CIA. But the real question is, why does he have a fake $100 bill?
That's the currency in the world he's gonna go into. I'm sure someone's probably upset seeing Jess shake the book like that.
ETL
got
is
triggered.
going to turn into the Ring, and we're all going to die in 21 hours.
Someone's gonna be hashtag triggered about you shaking a out of print book like that.
That's not how you handle books.
I'm pretty sure both of us have gotten messages about that before. Someone said how I handled my books with a shame. And then someone else, what was that recent one for you? They said you were showing off or something like that.
Oh, that I was showing off my Usagi Yojimbo #1, and it was a $2,600 book. But and then a fake $100 bill. What's this about?
What's
Play
the
Money
back?
of America.
Is the back still the?
It says the Play Money of America. It was the oddest thing. I'm like, and people's names are on this. I don't want to show it, but people's names are on these SIM cards.
I think it probably has the database for the Marvel Collected Editions department. That's probably it.
Shit.
So you think I should? Where do you? Okay, so I'm probably better off just throwing these things away, right?
I would keep them just as a novelty, really. I don't know.
You
Okay.
should mail them to someone else. Where did you buy the book from?
I don't remember. I can't remember. Online somewhere back when it was just out of print. I think I got it for $80 or something, and I just got it right before it started getting highly priced.
Maybe if it was from eBay or Amazon, maybe you can find it still in your history. But
I'm sure it was one of those two places.
But comic books, though.
Oh yeah, comic books about magic.
All right.
Forced sequitur right there.
Well, I have a book that I think everybody here has read, and I wanted to highlight it because it's popular again. The character made a big splash in movies, and this is Shazam New 52, the only volume from New 52 from Jeff Johns and was the artist Gary Frank. And it's actually one of my favorites because I love magical heroes. I was the one that suggested the topic because I like the idea of magic and what it can do. It can push the boundaries, and it allows your hero or your characters to go further and do things that aren't normal. Whereas with superpowers, they follow a set rule or a conduct that the hero or the character does. With magic, practically anything or everything is off limits. And the character of Shazam, I thought was pretty, it's the ultimate fantasy for kids of being empowered and becoming this magical being, the world's strongest, greatest mortal. And the New 52 run, I thought it was pretty excellent. Obviously, the movie borrows heavily from this, and it brings us an updated origin to Billy, and just a ton of fun and wonderful art from Gary Frank. I mean, just greatness all around. Updating the Rock of Eternity and the Wizard Shazam, and Billy being a foster kid, and of course revisiting one of my favorite DC villains, Black Adam. This book, I think, has a little bit of everything. I don't know what you guys think.
It was a lot of fun. I remember reading that. I didn't read it as the singles came out, but I bought the hardcover when it was released, and I thought that it was a really, really fun little series. And it was a shame that they really didn't do anything with him until Rebirth, until recently. And the new Rebirth series is fun too. It kind of does feel like it's spinning out of that because it's using the same ideas, and the Shazamily, if you will, is all there and stuff like that.
Now, here's the famous panel splash page. With the family right there.
Wait a sec. Let me highlight you. Let me hold that up, and I'll. Yeah.
There we go. Highlight me. There we go.
Yeah.
Just this was a delight, and seeing concepts like this and expanding on a character that is really old, and you're able to do some new stuff with it. I think John's hit it out of the park with Shazam.
Did he have anything to do with the screenwriting of the Shazam movie?
It's produced by him.
See, this is what I don't understand. Everything that he writes, to me, like Green Lantern, Justice League New 52, Aquaman, all these things are great. Shazam, the comic book, is great. He produces Shazam, and it's great. What the heck happened with Green Lantern, the movie?
I think he wasn't completely in charge of that. I think he'd lost control from it, and was just like Miola with the Hellboy movie. They used him more like a supervisor, loosely, and he just had to look at it from the sidelines, from what I understand.
I think that the universe had just beckoned for Ryan Reynolds to become Deadpool, so it had to have its way and make that a shit movie.
Oh yeah, probably. But yeah, Black Adam is one of my favorite characters, like I mentioned, and just having sort of this. It wasn't like a total reboot, right, with his story, but it was a little bit different from the classic Black Adam stories. But I appreciated what they did. Obviously, in the movie, it's Sivana that gets the spotlight, but here we have more of Adam and his history. And I cannot wait for more and more people to find out about these wonderful characters. If you've not read Shazam, any Shazam, I think this is a good starting point for the character. I think it's an accessible, easy to read story about just a foster kid trying to find his way and trying to find meaning in what family is, and trusting others, and becoming greater than yourself when you least expect it. So yeah, Shazam.
The magic of comic books.
Hey.
It was a magical movie, that's for sure.
Oh, that was total fun.
Yeah. Riley, what do you got for us? Do you want to tell us about Magic the character and how great she is?
Oh my god, dude.
What's that?
Am I still highlighted?
Are you still highlighted?
Yeah.
You want to be?
No, just checking.
Oh, no, I took you off.
All right.
I don't have any books to show for Magic as a character at the moment, but she's definitely one of my favorite of the mutants. The New Mutants is probably in my top 5 of X-Men related books, which I feel like that's a lot for me because I love the X-Men so much and I have so many runs that I really love. But there was something about that book that really just worked so well with these characters and their abilities and them coming together and the adventures that they went on. Because while the original X-Men series started with these teenagers, they were all 15 or whatever the original 5 were there. It didn't really focus so much on them as kids. It just pushed them into being heroes. But this book really focused on them as kids. And as far as Magic or Illyana goes, at the beginning, she was not a piece of that team. She was just Colossus's younger sister, very, very young, just kind of hanging around the place. And then there was a storyline where she gets sucked into this other world, and time proceeds at a different pace in that other world. So by the time she comes back, she's a young teenager. She's a teenager like the rest of the New Mutants, and she officially joins that team. And she has not only her mutant abilities, but she as well learns how to use different types of magic. And she inherits a lot of different things from her time in that other dimension. She's hung out with some demons. So there's a lot of different stuff with her as the Dark Child, her with her connections with the Inferno storyline, because that dealt with some of the demons. Her connections with Belasco, I think was the demon that she messed with. So there's a lot of really interesting stuff that comes with her and all the storylines that have been focused around her. Unfortunately, Marvel decided to make her a integral part of the main X-Men books. And she was featured a lot during Bendis's time on the Uncanny X-Men, and she was really well utilized, I thought, during that time. Just a very great, layered, multifaceted character and a great addition to any mutant story, in my opinion. Definitely one badass little girl, badass woman, badass everything, like badass mutant. I don't know, she's one of my favorite, and I know Jess is a big fan of Magic as well.
Yeah, I'm constantly trying to read more about her. Is she in Childhood's End?
I haven't read Childhood's End yet, but
Childhood's End. I mean, I could grab it and see. For some reason, I feel like she might be.
One of is Childhood's End the part that's by Craig Kyle and Chris Yost? Yeah, she is part of that, because the end of that run dealt with the search for magic, and then it leads into the X Infernus miniseries, and then that kind of leads into the new New Mutants title when it was written by Zeb Wells, and
Okay.
she's featured as a major character in that whole series. And Ex Infernus kind of informs her evolution, because she kind of went far into the demonic stuff in before Ex Infernus, and then after that it gets her back into being more human and stuff.
Okay.
I haven't read everything with her, but everything I have read with her has been fan freaking tastic.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love her. She's a great character. I really want to see the New Mutants movie actually see the light of day, because I think that her casting was beyond perfect.
And who plays her?
It's I forget her name, but the young girl from The Witch, the movie with the goat.
And Taylor Joy.
Yeah.
And
She's
Anya
perfect.
Taylor-Joy.
She has just the way she acts. Number one, the way she acts in movies that I've seen her in. Number one, and then number two, her appearance just make her spot on for the character. Like I don't think I could have picked someone better if I spent hours scouring the internet for that adaptation. So I'm really hoping we do get to see that make the light of day. And then Jess, before we started, both of us mentioned Marvel's Sorcerer Supreme, Doctor Strange. I know Jess said that he had pulled his Jason Aaron books, and this is literally the only Western comic I have with magic that's not boxed up, because it was a recent release. It was the Donny Cates run on
And I
Doctor
need to
Strange.
read that run.
It's definitely a really fun run. He does a lot to move forward in the same vein kind of as what Jason Aaron was doing with the character. But it does a lot of original things as well. This storyline takes us through a whole arc where Loki becomes the Sorcerer Supreme, and then there's an entire story arc, this kind of mini event that took place called Damnation, that kind of followed up not only on spinning out of Doctor Strange, but also on the events of Secret Empire, kind of like wrapping up some of the stuff that happened there. That dealt with basically, I haven't read it since it was in singles, but if I'm not remembering it wrong, it was like this tower with like a casino in it that's spouts up like this demonic like hell tower in the middle of, I think, Vegas. Yeah, it was because this is spoilers for Secret Empire, which is a few years old already or whatever. Vegas gets leveled, and Doc Strange uses his magic to basically resurrect the entire city, and because of that, he did something, and it causes for Mephisto to come and other demons, and they just wreak havoc. And that's the whole Damnation arc, and it was a really just fun event. And they have Damnation, like the whole thing, in a paperback that has all the tie-ins. But the book here, Donny Cates hardcover, it does collect the entire Damnation miniseries, just the main event there, plus all of the Doctor Strange issues that Cates wrote. And this leads right up to Mark Waid's current series, which has been actually really fun as well. Jess, I don't know if you wanted to say anything about the Jason Aaron series since you have that book on you.
Yeah, I'll just say quickly that any character with the right writer can become interesting, because I think that with Stephen Strange, I mean, can be a bland character, but with Jason Aaron writing him, he literally can see things that nobody else can see in New York City. New York City is shown as being very black and white, while there's all manner of wild creatures around that only Stephen Strange can see. And I love this part where he's got to eat. He's back in his mansion. He's got to eat this god-awful stuff. He's helping this young woman. And I'm trying to find, if I can find the part really quickly, where they're walking by something in his mansion, and she goes, are those snakes? And he goes, do not talk to the snakes. And the snakes are all like, hey girl, what's up? Come on over. And they're all the snakes are all flirting with the girl and stuff, and it's just really funny. And it's just really amazing stuff that is being done by Jason Aaron and Chris Bacalo. I love this book, and I've only read the first volume. I haven't read the second volume yet, or the part that Riley was talking about.
I forgot to show artwork, by the way, of the
oh, that's
book.
okay. I just want to find the part with the snakes.
Here's just to show off. Here's a panel of this is during when Loki becomes the Sorcerer Supreme on here, and this whole storyline is kind of like it happens, and then they tell you what was happening and what goes on, why it happened. That has artwork by Gabriel Hernandez Walta, who is known for his work in The Vision, as well as the Magneto series he did with Cullen Bunn. The Damnation series is also where we saw a lot of characters get like the Spirit of Vengeance, so there was a lot of flaming skulls running around at that time. Kind of interesting to see, like there's literally a Thor with a flaming skull sitting there. There was another page I saw just a second ago that I really wanted to show.
Here it is. Here are the snakes here. Do not talk to the snakes. Hey girl, what's up? What's your hurry? I love that part.
So here's Doctor Strange at a demon hell poker table with Mephisto.
That's cool.
It's the entire like tower casino is like run by demons and stuff. And then there was another really cool page in here that I saw just a second ago. There's also a really cool, underneath the dust jacket is an image by Greg Smallwood that has like all of the characters that were kind of involved with the crossover. Really cool stuff. Greg Smallwood was the one that put out that like Mystic Avengers teaser a while back, and it had basically all those characters, and he's like, this is a thing that I want to do, and then no one picked it up, and I was really sad because it looked really cool. God, where's this page? I just had it marked, and it looked so cool.
You know, maybe because Hulu's gonna do Ghost Rider and Hellstorm. Maybe we'll see that happen sometime in the future. Who knows?
Oh, here we go.
Riley showed just the spiders in the first issue of the Kate's hardcover.
I was trying to get this cover or this page with all of the different Ghost Riders.
Oh, that's cool.
Together. This is like some Jason Aaron Ghost Rider stuff, like where he has that scene where all the different riders and all their vessels come in.
Oh, that's cool. The spiders in the first issue of the Kate's hardcover. What is their what is their deal?
I don't even remember. This was like, what, 2 years ago? I don't remember what happened last week. I don't see any spiders in this first issue, yo.
Spiders.
I think Spider-Man is in here. But I don't want to sit on this one for too long. The other series, and I'm really sorry about this, but the other series that I wanted to mention is just really because I'm reading it right now, but I think it goes perfectly with this, and honestly, this might be a series that you get some enjoyment out of. Gio knows that I'm reading this, and this has been a popular series as of late in the farm. That's why I said I'm really sorry about this. And that's Dorohedoro. I've been kind of quiet. Okay, I've been kind of quiet about that I had picked up this series just because I was kind of saving it for a full review video. But I've been reading it lately, and when you guys said magic, I was like, oh my god, because this series is about sorcerers. So the series it's set in this world where there are two dimensions. There's the Hole, which is kind of where the humans live, And then there's the sorcerer's world. The sorcerer's world is, of course, where the sorcerers live. The whole is this like gross, downtrodden, everyone looks like they need to take a shower. You might get a staph infection if you step on the wrong piece of tile, or I don't know, like it's just, everything looks gross. And then the sorcerer's world is meant to be like the more high class type place, but the way that the creator, Q Hayashida, draws this series, everything is kind of grungy, honestly. I almost describe it as manga Simon Bisley artwork, in the way that he draws stuff. And I think that really comes out in like her color work and her cover work. Just the characters that she draws and stuff kind of have a similar feel. I know there are colored pages in this first book that I can show. Yeah, I think this highlights that perfectly. Just the way that her art looks reminds me a lot of his. It reminds me of, honestly, of Heavy Metal. Not that I've read the magazine at all, but like the movies, the way that this world is. So anyway, the humans and the sorcerers, they both are humanoid in their representation, but the sorcerers are actually a separate species that have been more or less genetically tampered with by this ancient demon. The ancient demon has imbued these humans with the power to use magic. They basically implant something like a new organ into their body, and that organ allows them to produce smoke, quote unquote, and that smoke gives each person an individual ability. It can be something small, or it can be, it can be like you can use it to cut someone up, or you can use it to affect time or to bring people back from the dead, something like that. So in the whole, though, that's all the humans. It's, the sorry people, the people that are making, it's hard to make it by day to day. They don't have any abilities and stuff. Our main character is this guy on the front of volume 1. His name is Cayman, or at least that's what they're calling him. And he has this lizard head, but this is not Cayman's head. So before the series starts, we don't know who did this, but someone turned his head into this thing and erased all of his memories. So he spends the series, his main goal is to find out who did this, and how he finds out whether a sorcerer was the one that did this to him or not is by shoving their head into his mouth, and within his mouth is a small head that looks at that person and says, "You aren't the one." So this little head like interacts with them as their face is in this lizard man's mouth. And he's going around and violently assaulting basically every sorcerer that he comes across because he's, trying to find out who did this to him. So this guy named N, who runs like this family, and it's a corporation, but it appears kind of like a mob family.
Wait, I have a question real quick. Where did the two worlds intersect?
Oh, sorry, I completely forgot. So they're very much separate, except that the sorcerers have the ability to create doorways that allow them to go into the hole.
So
but
how
the people from the hole can't go back into the sorcerer's world.
How does Lizardhead get a hold of these sorcerers?
They come into the hole for different reasons. Okay. And so anytime he finds one, he'll take them into it. Later on in the series, he's able to get into the sorcerer's world and winds up staying out there, much against like the behest of his companions and stuff. But so he continues his journey up there. So anyway, and he uses his magic ability, which is something with like making things out of mushrooms or into mushrooms, essentially, which is really weird, but it goes all over the place. But he uses that to create products, and his corporation sells the products. But he has like people working for him that are essentially like enforcers or cleaners. And he sends them to go after Cayman. And so a lot of the series has those enforcers going head to head with Cayman, and then Cayman biting their heads and trying to find out who did its stuff. It's a really weird but really fun series that the best way I've ever heard it described was a few years ago. The first person that ever recommended it to me was a manager of a GameStop that not the one that I worked at, but one that I interviewed at, who was like, it's basically like a trauma movie, but in manga form, which is so true. Cause it's like, it's this gory, gross, like over the top, so over the top that it's intentionally like, it's funny how over the top the gore gets. But it works so freaking well. It's just everything. So like the only way I can describe it, I don't want to use the words grim and gritty because it's not like, you know, Watchmen or Dark Knight Returns, grim, gritty story. It's like dirty. It's this
grungy,
really like grungy, gross, dirty feeling that you get when reading this book, and it just works so well. And the creator, she like really knows what she's doing. With this world that she's created here and all the characters in it, and just the violence that she creates here is so well tuned to what she's doing. And I think she has the characters' reactions to violence work perfectly with her tone that she set for the book, because it's like they don't really care. Like someone gets ripped to shreds, they get opened up and like their organs get messed with. There's scenes all over the place of like intestines being pulled out, but it's like played off as just like, yeah, it happened again, I guess. Like there's a whole like side plot at a point where one guy, he's a sorcerer who loses his, because the sorcerers typically have a partner that goes with them, and he loses his partner. And so he goes back to the hole to get his partner's pieces because he wants to resurrect his partner. And he's just like, my partner died and I really would like to get him back. So let me grab those pieces of his body and get him back. So it's just the violence and the gore and stuff is played off as just, whatever. It's just part of this world. But honestly, like this is something that I think a lot of people that might not be into manga might find themselves enjoying because of how off the wall it is and how similar I feel like it is to things like trauma movies and like I was saying, like heavy metal, as far as the type of feeling that you get from what you're reading there. And these people are all wearing these like crazy Mad Max style get-ups with like different leather and spikes and crap all over their bodies. It's a trip. Like it's such a trip. I'm on volume 8 right now out of 22 in the US. The 23rd is the last volume. It hasn't been published out here yet. And every passing volume, I'm enjoying it more and more. Like I can't recommend it enough. And just a side note, it has some of the most like well-developed female characters, just because it's like, they're so strong, and like there's never any sort of romantic connection between these characters. Like it's just like one of the characters, you don't even know she's a girl, and she takes off her mask, and I was like, oh, that was a really huge woman, like just huge, broad-shouldered, muscular woman that's just beating people's faces in. I didn't even know it. So I think that the creator, she does a really good job of making this well-balanced cast of both male and female characters primarily, and also a giant cockroach character.
Yep.
Okay. Have you read that book, Gio?
Nope. I had no idea what it was about.
And now you know.
And now you know.
Now I know.
Well, I joked with the boys in the farm. I posted on the chat the other day, and I was like, I think it was to Alex. I was like, Alex, you're gonna want to buy this book for 3 reasons. I was like, 1, it has a great female creator. 2, about 50% of the cast are well-developed female characters. I said 3, tasteful nudes. And then both Adonis and Nelson like heart reacted my comment. And I was like, of course. But yeah, that's my my current book that I've been reading. And once I finish it, because I'm, like I said, I'm only about a third the way through right now, I'm gonna put a video review on my page. So maybe in the next week or 2.
Nice. Gio, do you have another book for us? I know you have a huge stack.
I'll just go by these books real quick. One of the books I wanted to talk about is James Robinson's Scarlet Witch.
I also
because-
have that pulled, so I'm happy to talk about it.
There you go. Yeah. So what I love about this is that there are a lot of magical characters, especially in Marvel and DC, but somehow people tend to think that there isn't enough magic in the Marvel universe. But you have a wonderful character like Scarlet Witch, and James is able to really use that theme of magic per se and the absence of it in the Marvel universe and make a story around it and write 10, how many issues? 15 issues about magic being broken, and Wanda's on this mission to reluctantly to find out what's happening, who's doing what, and you get to explore different corners of the Marvel universe that you might have not known about or cared about. And it's pretty interesting. It's well written. The art is drop dead gorgeous, and it's a fairly easy read for people to get into. If you like Scarlet Witch from the movies or whatever story, yeah, I do recommend that miniseries.
Yeah, I second Gio's talk about it, because starting with the art is takes your typical 9-panel grid and smashes it. It just goes all over the place and does whatever it wants, spreads out all over the page, and is beautifully colored and beautifully drawn. And it's that way in all the trades, the 3 trades. And she comes up against what turns out to be an old nemesis. Because magic is broken, she's got to try and figure out why. And she gets closer and closer, and she figures it out. And then it turns out it's this old nemesis, and she's got to defeat him time and time again. But the art is, I mean, the story is good, but the art is really the reason to stay, because while the story is good and the story is what grabs you, but the art is what really makes you want to stay and just really makes you just, I don't know, it changes a lot because there's a lot of different artists involved, but they all mush around with the idea of panels and stuff, and they really take chances with it, and I really appreciated it too.
And it works having different artists, because magic per se, it's not bound by any specific rule. It can be different and it can fluctuate. So I appreciated the fact that we had different artists and different styles.
Good point. Very good point. Yeah. So this was one of my top books. I believe this came out around 2016. This is one of my top reads in 2016, and I just really dug it. I'm pretty sure that's when it came out. I seem to recall reading it with my knee replacements being done. Yeah, I really dug it. I agree with you. I thought it was a top book.
Yeah, it was around 2016, 2017 was the first.
2017. Okay. Okay. Let's see. I will pick Madame Xanadu, and I will show you the inside. There's 3 trades of this, and I'll do my thing of reading off the back while I show you the insides, because that's what Kristen likes to tease me about. Who's Madame Xanadu? She is one of comics' most legendary and mysterious magicians. For years, she has aided the powerful and powerless alike with supernatural forces, blah-blah-blah-blah-blah. For learning her craft in the arms of Merlin, to reading the fortune of Marie Antoinette, from serving in the court of Kublai Khan to cheating death of the endless herself in Game of Cards. The life of this ageless mage has woven its way through history and mythology alike. And from Morgana Le Fay to Jack the Ripper to the enigmatic Phantom Stranger, menacing forces have haunted her every step. So, Madame Xanadu, all 3 trade paperbacks. I just sort of picked these up on a whim, and because I liked Matt Wagner's writing, and Madame Xanadu was something I hadn't read before, and I thought, what the heck? I can just read these. And I ended up really liking them a lot. It helps the Death makes an appearance, and I just found these to be really interesting and fun. These were a Vertigo series of long ago, I think. I found it to be Madame Xanadu is like a D-list character, but they really Matt Wagner wrote her really well. I enjoyed it a lot. So there's 3 of those.
How old is that?
Let me see. This first book, 2008, 2008 and 2009.
Cool.
Yeah, DC was still in
Thought it
New
was
York.
A little bit older.
Yeah. It's actually pretty thick. All 3 of them are pretty thick.
Nice.
Yeah, this one collects well, just do a little bit 1 through 10. So there was like 30. It was maybe 30 of them done because there's 3 books. So she had a good run of it.
And speaking of Madame Xanadu, I'm going to segue a little bit and feature this little gem, Demon Knights 2, which also features Madame Xanadu.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of other funky little dudes like Etrigan and Vandal Savage, and a bunch of classic sword and sorcery and immortal characters from DC magical lore. And this is a pretty fun book as well.
You can keep going. I just want Leighton Watson to see that I am going to talk about Deanie Zatanna.
Nice.
Yeah, Demon Knights was a great book.
It's a shame that this is terribly out of print for people looking into it.
Are all 3 of them out of print?
First one is really hard to find. Second one you can get for cheap.
Go ahead and release an Omni though.
Yeah. And the third one, here's the third volume. This one's pretty pricey as well. The easiest one to get is volume 2, which I have here. And it's only 23 issues, which, yeah, you could do a small Omni out of this run. Just 3 trades.
It was, what was it, Paul Cornell, and then, or was Paul Cornell the second run?
Mm-hmm.
He was the first writer, right? Yeah. Because I remember he was also writing Stormwatch at the time, and they made these connections between, like, the Demon Knights were like the original Stormwatch.
Yeah, it's sort of like the ancient version of Stormwatch. And it's a little bit interesting. It reminds me of Seven Samurai for some reason. You know, they've got to get rid of this.
Robert Pattinson's going to play Batman.
Just seeing it. Yeah, they confirmed it like 10 minutes ago or something.
Sorry, Gio, I can't believe it. He really is.
Nice. It was heavily rumored.
I'm really excited for that. Okay, sorry, Gio. Go right ahead. I apologize for that.
No, it's okay. I was just talking about the book, and it sort of reminded me of stuff like Seven Samurai, you know, epics like that, with this group of people coming together for a cause and defending citizens and all that stuff in ancient medieval times. So
yeah, did you say who was in that group?
Let me check because I forgot. I know it was Etrigan, Madame Xanadu, the Immortal. What was the other guy's name? I forgot. Sir Easting, one of the knights. And
I can't remember.
It just has great art, man. Like, let me Can't see myself. There we go. It's pretty awesome.
Now, when you opened that up, did a SIM card fall out?
No,
Oh,
it would have been cool though.
So I think only the first volume is really hard to find. So maybe if you find like a lot on eBay of all three, you can maybe still get it for a decent price. Because I did that recently for some Spider-Man books. Like the Spider-Man Next Chapter Volume 3 is really expensive, but I bought like 4 of books at the same time, so it wound up being like $25 for each book.
who's Next Chapter by?
That is, it's when they started with a new volume or issue 1, and it's before JMS. So I figured like, oh, if I'm getting the new JMS omnibus, I might as well fill in that gap. And that's kind of why I made that post recently. I don't know if you saw in the group where I was like, yo, my stuff's in storage. Show me some things. And I had already ordered those books, and I wanted to see if there was anything else that I was missing from anyone who had like a complete or near complete collection of the thick Spider-Man books.
Okay. I don't have that. I thought I had a good selection of Spider-Man, but I don't have that chunk.
It's so there's
Thank you, River.
Stay on topic. I think that there's probably Mysterio in this book, and Mysterio is magic, and he's also going to be the villain, or is he?
Or is he?
New, of the new Spider-Man movie. What's the title of the new one? Far From Home. So I got right here. Sorry, just give me a second. I'm gonna get situated again. Okay, so yeah, that this is the third one. This is the one that's more expensive and out of print and stuff. I actually, so I ordered, this is completely random at this point, but like there's 3 of these. There's Next Chapter Volumes 1, 2, and 3. And then following these is, I think it's called The Revenge of the Green Goblin. So I ordered all 4 of those. They're actually from separate sellers on eBay, but the total wound up being like $100. So each of these wound up being, I looked at it like I got them each for $25, but I really ordered this one for $50, which was like 10 over cover, so basically 5 for shipping, and then I spent like $5 over.
And who's the writer on those?
Howard Mackey.
Oh, that's what you were talking about. Okay.
Yeah, and then there's another book that they just came out with, and it was, I think it's titled Light in the Darkness, and that follows Howard Mackey, and that's like the first stuff that Paul Jenkins writes for Spider-Man. So I'm hoping they follow that book and they do some more of these thick paperbacks to wrap up, because there's several different pieces of that era that have been either mostly collected or entirely collected, but only in thin paperbacks from a good minute ago. Anyway, sorry to take up the Mysterio is really cool, guys.
That's okay. We talk about all kinds of comics, and I don't any tangent that's comic related is fine with me. I never mind that. Let's see.
Well, Gio just did a good job of reminding me how much I enjoyed Demon Knights, and that I'm really upset that I never jumped on the paperbacks. So I'm either gonna sit here and not have them, or just keep praying that one day someone releases a.
Are you looking on eBay right now for them?
Exactly what I had said. There's a lot of all 3 of them plus Frankenstein, which I already have Frankenstein, or all 3 of them plus Swamp Thing, which obviously I have Swamp Thing. And each of those are an auction ending in 5 days for $49.99 starting bid with free shipping. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not about to do that.
Oh wow, that's expensive.
Well, I got a skedaddle, so I can hang out with my wife before I have to hit the sack, and then I'm gonna eat some dinner. But thank you for letting me talk about manga again. It just so happened that this book coincided with the theme that you guys chose for today. Otherwise, I swear I wouldn't have talked about any manga. There's a lot more magic manga that I could talk about. Gio knows. He's watching Black Clover. But Jess, this is a series that I honestly feel like you could enjoy because it's almost westernized in how it is. It's very un-Japanese, but I don't want to say that too strongly because of how unappealing the genre is to you, or not the genre, but the medium is to you. So I'm gonna still hesitate in saying that, maybe because there's an animated series coming at some point in the near future.
I might watch that.
So maybe when that happens, hopefully it's good. I think they're putting a lot of time and effort into it, so hopefully it winds up being good and representing this world very well. Because I think that a lot of what makes it feel like something to me that you would enjoy is the way that the art represents this world and these characters.
Gio just put in something in the chat for you, in the Omnibros chat, that might interest you.
Go check it out.
Yeah, you should definitely check it out.
Oh, in the chat.
In the Omnibros chat.
I thought you were talking about the other thing. Oh, watch. See where that goes. So anyway, yeah, guys, I'm gonna peace out. Thank you guys for.
And when you do your dodecahedro review, where would that be?
That will be on my channel. You can find it by searching The Omnibus Collector on YouTube, or my channel name is my name, Riley, RYLAYMO. My most recent videos, I've been on track to do kind of one per week, but I didn't have anything to talk about this week. So hopefully next week I'll have this book to talk about. I did a recent haul of everything that I picked up since I moved. And I also did a review of the manga series Real, which was a really great series that I just caught up on and wanted to talk about. So yeah, and then of course, check out the Facebook group that is officially not secret anymore. It was secret for a brief moment. The Omnibus Collectors Comic Swapping Community. And if you want to join, we also have the connected manga group, Otaku's Farm. Myself, Gio, and other people are admins on that group. And now that my work schedule is officially more normal, I'm trying to get back to where we can do another episode of Manga Bros. I know that we kind of are slacking. We're about 2 months behind with doing those. And we've been talking about things that we wanted to do in that show. So we'll get
people
back to
really
it.
Want that. Yeah.
There's definitely a select audience, but that select audience is very vocal about wanting us to do it again.
Yeah, they definitely want the people want Manga Bros.
Well, I'll do my damnedest to make it happen.
All righty. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you both for letting me have such a great time tonight. All right. Well, peace out. See you guys later.
Take care.
All right, later. Bye.
All right, that was the man that started it all, the Omnibus Collector himself.
Then there were two.
Then there were two of us.
I got more books that I sort of like show off.
Sure.
Because I know a while. We've been talking for a while.
No, that's fine. We can go, another few minutes. It's fine.
This is my favorite modern DC team. It is Justice League Dark. I love the idea of gathering supernatural heroes with magic powers and forming sort of this team around it. Zatanna, Deadman. Later on, you get more characters. Constantine and everybody else. Madame Xanadu again. She's a recurring character.
That was the New 52 run, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was well done. I like that book.
Really fun. Just the art at the beginning, I wasn't a huge fan of it, but it grew on me. It was the first time where it looked sort of like more realistic, I guess is the word. I was so used to reading comic books that were a little bit more flashy, and then this, had a more realistic style to it, I guess. The colors are a little bit wacky themselves, but the story itself, like here, for example, there's a little bit of a gutter lost, but you you guys can see it. And just it's fun. Later on, fast forward to a couple of years, you've got the post-metal rebirth Justice League Dark, led by Wonder Woman.
And I didn't understand a single thing that happened in that book.
I just started on it, and I can't wait to talk more about it and do a video on it. But yeah, man, this is a wicked team. Look at Swamp Thing; he looks so awesome.
I got to
So,
read Metal
this-
to understand that, right?
Yeah, you get once you read Metal, you're like, oh, so that's why Wonder Woman's doing her thing with this team and all that stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I got a lot of DC to catch up on. I've been reading so much Image new stuff that's come out that I just have fallen behind on my DC stuff. And I've actually read a lot of Marvel stuff that's come out that my Rebirth stuff has just fallen by the wayside. So I really got to catch up on it.
I recently ordered Justice League Odyssey this week, so I can't wait to talk about all 3 Justice League books that are out there.
Yeah. What's Odyssey about? What is that, Scott Snyder?
Geez, I forgot the writer. I think it was Dan Abnett that started the run.
Oh, okay.
Starfire leading her team of Justice League members in space, and it also features a younger version of Darkseid with them, and they're doing space stuff that I don't want to spoil, but it has to do with the ending of Metal and something that they discover at the end of that book.
Ending of what? Metal?
Yeah, there's something that happens at Metal at
And
the end.
Darkseid is with them?
Yeah, it's a younger, like a teenage, young adult version of Darkseid. He's skinnier and he's wearing like a wardrobe, like a magician. It's weird.
Does he have an earring?
I don't think he has an earring though.
Skateboard? Tattoos? Anything?
Picture. Let's see if I can show it off on my phone.
Meanwhile, Starfire, that sideshow statue.
Oh my god, yeah.
God, that thing was awesome.
Yes.
Can you
That's
tilt
beautiful.
your phone down just a little? No, tilt it up.
Up.
Tilt
what
it
now?
sideways. No, I don't think we're going to improve on that. He just looks like he's a little white.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But anyways, it's
Okay.
pretty awesome, and I can't wait to read that. And it's Azrael, Cyborg, Starfire, and Jessica Cruz, Green Lantern
Oh,
on that team. So
you know, if this was
I can't wait.
If this was 2 years ago, past Jess would have gotten future Jess into trouble with that Starfire statue. I would have jumped on that Starfire statue with Beast Boy Roomba.
Oh, and that Roomba is Cyborg.
Oh, Cyborg
inspired.
Roomba. I thought it was Beast Boy. Okay.
I mean, you could still get it, as a, treat yourself and stuff. I don't know.
Treat myself.
I'm rooting for you to get it.
I know you are. It's such a cool statue. She is so cool looking. Oh my
Really
goodness.
have stepped up.
My only concern is, and this is always my concern, pre-ordering, is that the face sculpt is not going to be as good as you want it to be.
Yeah.
And there you've dropped $500 on a face sculpt you're not happy with. Now I've gotten lucky on, Jane Foster Thor and Zatanna. Captain Marvel turned out well, but I don't know.
Captain Marvel one is pricey.
Yeah.
Friend or out of stock or out of whatever.
Out of production or whatever they're. Yeah.
Actually, a ton of your statues are out of stock. I'm like,
Oh, they are? My
all
statues?
three. A lot of the ones behind you are out of stock. The Flash Bombshell, the Hawk Girl, the J. Scott Campbell ones. All those are out of stock. They're grail pieces in my
Yay.
book.
Yay.
So
How about
Yeah.
this Batgirl one?
I think she sold out, but you can still find her for around cover price. or retail
okay.
price.
Um, okay. And then how about some of those ones up there? Like, well, I know Harley Quinn's been out of production forever, but then there's Zatanna. Speaking of magic,
She's also out of production, but you can find her at a decent price.
okay, and Jessica Cruz,
Still in stock, I think. in
okay,
most.
Mira.
Mira, out of stock, but she's the easiest to find.
Okay, good. And Catwoman.
That's out of stock. Yeah, that's out as well.
Ah,
Rarest bombshells are Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, Black Canary, and Hawkgirl. Easily over $200 each.
really? Well, Hawkgirl and Poison Ivy are right there.
Oh my god! And what's going to make them even rarer is that DC Direct, or the company, DC Collectibles, is not going to reprint them. What they're doing is they're putting out sepia tone variants.
Oh, yeah.
So the originals are still going to retain their value, and they're going to be pricier and pricier. With Black Canary, I'm not comfortable paying the prices that people are asking on eBay, so I'm probably going to settle with the sepia tone because it looks pretty cool.
It does look cool.
It looks of the era.
Yeah.
I wanted to get the sepia Poison Ivy, but at the same time, I'm like, Poison Ivy works in color versus sepia tone.
Yeah.
But with Black Canary, yeah, probably going to get the sepia variant.
Black Canary was so cool. My wife let her be up in the family room. She's up in the family room with Supergirl.
She got the VIP treatment.
Yeah, she has the VIP treatment. She's with Supergirl. I can't think of who else. There's 4 of them up there.
There's also Starfire, Katana.
Katana's out there. Starfire and Katana are out there in the main part of the basement.
I can't remember.
I'm blanking on who else is up there. Oh wait, let's see. Mira's here.
Do you own Cheetah?
I don't own Cheetah. Yeah, I do own Cheetah. She's right up there. Oh,
Nice.
Christmas Harley is upstairs.
Cool.
Christmas Harley's upstairs. I can't think of who else. The one bombshell I do not own and will not own. You know who I'm going to say.
Bumblebee?
No, I have no problem with Bumblebee. I don't know who she is. That's the reason I don't own her. Is Wonder Woman, because her face looks like the Joker.
Yeah. It's terrible. That was a bad sculpt.
Yeah, that smile on her looks awful.
They even did the holiday variant, and it's just as bad.
Yeah, it's the exact same Joker smile.
Are you getting what's Joker's daughter one?
Oh, yeah, from she got introduced in that I'm having trouble coming up with names. The Gotham City Babes or whatever that thing was called.
Let me check. Joker's daughter. Luella Dent.
What was that series? Bombshells. Bombshells United or Bombshells. The Bombshells series. That's where she was like the in the Berlin. She was like the hostess. That's actually a pretty cool looking statue.
Yeah, it looks pretty fun, like Mardi Gras style.
Yeah, and then Mary Marvel or Mary Shazam, I guess they're calling her. She's looking pretty good.
It's really cool.
And Death, she's looking good.
And they also did. Oh, what's this guy's name? They did one for Superman, right? With Power Girl.
Oh yeah, where she's holding him up.
That one looks pretty awesome.
Yeah. Bandito 1809. What's with the Marvel blowout sale? That is a good question. Sunday's show will have Gabe on it, and it was explained to me, and so we'll talk about it on Sunday. It was explained to me today by somebody who is dialed into Marvel that that is a way, it's not a blowout of books to get rid of them. It's a way to get comic book stores that don't deal in omnis to get them involved, make them so cheap that local comic book shops have no choice but to carry some omnis, make them so appealing that they will actually carry some omnis. Doesn't mean that they will pass the savings on to you, but at least they will start carrying some omnis when you offer them, you know, for $30, and they can sell them, you know, for marked up to whatever they mark them up to. But it's not necessarily a blowout, but it's a way to get stores that are not normally participating in carrying omnis. It's a way to get them involved. So,
Makes sense.
yeah, I got that from somebody who is newly dialed into Marvel. Yeah. And I will talk about, since we're going to try and stay on topic, even though we've gone off on a wild tangent, Paul Dini's Zatanna books, which were really hard to get, but are now back in a complete collection. I think Everyday Magic is now in collected form, if I'm not mistaken. I know Shades of the Past and Mistress of Magic are collected. These were all books that showed a more human side of Zatanna. They showed her dealing, of course, with demons and shady organizations, shady people, and everything. But it also showed her having a love life and having a boyfriend and having, you know, dealing with everyday normal stuff too, which I thought was interesting, because she would have a nightclub show, then she'd go home to, you know, food spoiled in the fridge or something, or she'd jump in the hot tub with a guy, and here she is rocking out at a party or some neighbor's party or something. And I thought it was good that Paul Dini always showed the human side of Zatanna, which I really, really enjoyed. Interesting side note, Faria hated these books.
What?
Yeah. Come on, Faria. What's going on here? These books were great. But Faria and I were very good friends, but we found out we don't have the exact same taste in comic books. But we love comic books, so that's all that matters. So the Zatanna books are great. They were really hard to find, and now they're in a complete collection from Paul Dini, who is a wonderful writer. So if you like Zatanna, you can't do any better than Paul Dini, and he is so great. And these are no-brainer books for me. I love Zatanna. I know Gio does too, and I love Paul Dini as a writer. You can't get any better, really, than Paul Dini. And I mean, I'm almost tempted to throw in Harley Quinn here, because he created her and writes her great. Even though she's not a magician, she's a Paul Dini creation, and I just like talking about Harley Quinn.
Some Cliff Chang right there.
Yeah, very good. Good eye.
Oh, those books were really hard to find. I only had that second volume that you're holding,
Yeah.
and I had to wait for the complete collection so I could finally get everything.
Yeah, these books were hard to find, and Everyday Magic, I think, is probably one of the thinnest books you'll ever see. And this was old too. I feel like this was like 2001 or something, 2003. So this had been out of print for a long time. And when was Shades of the Past? That was 2011. So, and Mistress of Magic, this was actually kind of a nice gift that DC gave us. 2010. So these were old books. So we kind of got lucky that DC is Everyday Magic in that complete collection. Do you know?
Yep, it is.
Oh, Adam Hughes Zatanna is crazy gorgeous. Tasty Melon, will Gru ever get an omnibus? I have to admit, I know very, very little about Gru, so I couldn't even begin to tell you that. I'm sorry, I do not know.
Yeah, I have no idea. Guru. You should ask Omar.
Yeah, he would probably know.
That's something. Yeah, that's something he would probably know.
Highlighter says, employees from our LCS told me going forward, they'll be going big in their trade paperback and omnibus editions, limiting their ordering of floppies to pull lists. That's interesting.
Oh.
I'd be interested in knowing more about that and their reasoning about that. That's very interesting.
Well, we're going to have a follow-up on Sunday, so everybody should tune in.
Huh. Yeah, Adam Hughes Zatanna is lights out. Adam Hughes anything is lights out.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, Adam Hughes. Pretty sure this is Adam Hughes right here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's crazy talented. Do you have any other Magic books do you want to talk about?
Unless you want to talk about Fables, but I pretty much covered everything in my Magic section.
Okay. Oh, here's a great question, and this one drives me bananas. Chase Chu, anyone know why DC is releasing Hitman's Greatest Hit Trade? No, it's dumb. It is absolutely dumb. Hitman's Greatest Hit, it's meaningless. They should just be releasing an omnibus or a huge bunch of chunky trades of all his books. They've become increasingly hard to find. 1 and 2 have been hard to find for over 3 years. They've all become hard to find. I don't understand. They should be releasing like 1 and 2 together, and then 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. I think it goes to 7. They should just be re-releasing all of them, or an omnibus or chunky thick trades. His greatest hits. You know who that's going to satisfy? No one.
Yeah.
No one.
They originally solicited a complete collection, volume 1. They got canceled, then resolicited. I think it's still on schedule, but for like 2020. And instead, they're putting out this year the greatest hits thing, which is stupid. It's a waste of paper, in my opinion.
Well, all those, if I recall correctly, and I've only read it 3 times, they all seem to knock on to each other. There's a string that runs through all his Hitman stories, at least in the arcs. And it's not like there's a lot of one-offs in there. There's very few, as I recall. I may not recall this correctly, but there's very few one-shots in Hitman. I feel like there was a lot of arcs that carried on into other arcs. Like one arc would inform the next arc. So I don't see this as really that great of a move. It really kind of frosts my cookies, because that's a series that more and more people should know about, and this is not the way to go about it.
I agree.
Might reflect folks' purchasing habits. I mean, we all binge TV. Why not comics? Absolute Adam Hughes coming out this year. Yes. I cannot wait to get that. That is a great thing. Hitman's Greatest Hits is printing Demon Annual 2, Hitman 4 through 7, 13, 14, 34, and JLA Hitman 1 through 2.
That's all over the place.
That, oh my gosh.
No, thank you.
Dog, what is your favorite one? What is your favorite run of Wonder Woman? That is a good question. I think it is Greg Rucka's Volume 1 and 2 trade paperback. Just got released last year, I believe, is my favorite run of Wonder Woman.
I'm going to say New 52 because it was the first full run that I read of Wonder Woman. But I do recognize that Rucka's is a little bit better.
I recognize Azzarello and Chang made a great team, and that was a very good New 52 book. That is a good call. And I'm going to call out the Phil Jimenez run as being incredibly boring with great art. I will say George Perez's book was great. The Three Omnis were great. I don't feel as strongly about John Byrne's Wonder Woman. What was the husband and wife team that just did such a good Omni? Not Omni, I'm sorry, a collected edition.
Renee DeLiz.
Yeah, that was great. That was really great.
Legend of Wonder Woman. Legend of Wonder Woman, I think it was called.
Yeah, that was really good.
That was canceled. They never got a chance to do a volume 2. And they were really upset about it because it was an awesome retelling.
Yeah. Tasty Melon, I don't answer questions like that because I think it's bad karma. It's bad juju.
Oh, yeah.
Just ask me my favorite book in the house. Reword that to just say my favorite book in the house. I don't like that question. It gives me it makes my skin crawl.
That's the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah,
no thanks.
Exactly. Yeah, it's bad juju. Did you all pick up a copy of Guardians of the Galaxy 5? I did not. What's the big event? What happened?
What?
Do you know what happened to you?
I have no idea.
Did someone know how to find the F key on their keyboard or something?
Let's see. Anyone going to East Comic Con? Nope.
East Coast Comic Con. I don't even know where it is. Where is it?
No idea. Jess, have you read Nailbiter?
I finally have all 3 volumes, and I'm going to read it probably next week. I can't wait.
To check it. I have it on my tablet because it was on sale a few months ago for like $5, the trades. But I haven't read it because it freaks me out. I don't know. I got it, but I haven't read it.
It's supposed to freak you out. It's supposed to be really creepy.
Yeah. Like I tend to like. Where's the damn book? Like this is my type of jam, not necessarily like real world.
Yeah, I know what
murders and like I don't know. It freaks me out a little, so I tend to just go for the fantastical things.
Tasty Melon, that's funny. I am gonna say my most favorite book is, and this is not gonna do my reputation any good because I already have this rep. Naughty and Nice, the good girl art of Bruce Timm.
That's a rare one.
Yeah, that's a rare one, and it was a gift from the fabulous Mike Noah. It was a gift. It's hard to find. It's oversized. It's beautiful. It's fun. That's yeah. So, and Light Brigade, I can see Light Brigade right there on my shelf. Kal-El, I should read that, huh? I mean, it's right there on my shelf. I know I should read it.
Nailbiter is more like a goofy slasher flick.
Huh. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I promise I'll read it. I'll read it eventually. The waiting list is huge, but I'll read it.
I know. Every time I pull stuff out to do a video on something, I'm like, there's something next to a book, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to read that.
Yeah.
I got to read that. I got to read that. I got to read that. This is probably a good time for me to mention the source of all the things I got to read. It's InStockTrades.com, where you can get your collected editions up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts add 2% to that. Every quarter, there's an Omnibros live discount. Over $50 in an order in the United States. That gets you free shipping. Fabulous customer service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nicely done.
We can. I got two more books I can talk about. Neil Gaiman's Books of Magic. This is beautifully illustrated, talking about Timothy Hunter, who is born the most powerful magician in existence, and he's got 4 guys who come to try and help him with it, and he's not even sure that he believes that he is a magician. He's not sure he believes in it, and he gets shown so many sights, so many different futures, so many different things, and the artwork is just badass in this thing. So he starts to develop a belief in magic. He starts to believe that he might become the magician they say he's going to become. It's Constantine, Phantom Stranger, Dr. 13, and who else? Let's see, I'm flailing on this. Actually, they take him to see the Spectre, and they take him to see all these different magicians, all these different people. And it's really, you know what? I'm going to keep this book out and reread it because it's really good. It's so good. I think Zatanna's in this book too. But it's by Neil Gaiman, so it's great. And it's got very different styles of art in it by some of the most famous comic book artists around. And they take him to the ends of time and almost lose him there. Like right here. Dr. 13, I think. And it's awesome. I'm going to keep this out and I'm going to read this tomorrow.
Excellent.
Yeah. I think he takes a trip into Fairyland. Oh, it's been way too long. I haven't read this since it came out. Show the scene where Constantine walks in right before bad things are about to happen to Tim and Zatanna.
In that book?
Gosh, it's been so long since I read it. I'm not. Oh, wait. Here she is with Zatanna. Here he is with Zatanna. Constantine, Mr. E. Oh, yeah. Constantine. Well, wait. Here's Constantine. I don't see anything going on. I don't see anything going on with them. But gosh, I really want to read this now. Actually, I'm going to just start reading it right this second. Go on with the show, Gio.
Yeah, sure. We got a ton of questions.
Dead air. No one touches the boy. That scene is burned into my brain. Huh. How to traumatize. Okay, I'm going to read that. I'll know what you're talking about after I read it again, Jake. I just haven't read it in a long time. Read it live. I don't think you're the only one who liked the Constantine movie, Joe Chip. I thought the one with John Wick in it or whatever. I enjoyed that movie. That was taken right from the pages of Hellblazer.
I liked it.
I thought it was fine. We'll read it live. Fuck it. We'll read it live. I'll write it myself and we'll read it live.
Yeah, no, it was an adaptation.
Yeah.
Plus, the scenes in hell were creepy as hell. You know.
Yeah. I thought it was. I enjoyed it.
Plus, he had the dude, I forgot his name, playing the devil. He did an amazing job in that movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
You
What do
had
you mean
Tilda
John
Swinton.
Wick is not a real person? Yes, he is. John Wick plays Keanu Reeves.
Tilda Swinton, she was there playing Gabriel.
Right.
Had Dishmon Honsu, I think, playing Papa Midnight.
Mm.
Shia LaBeouf doing his thing.
Right.
And
Before
Rachel,
he went crazy.
Yeah, before the crazy episodes. And what was the girl? Rachel Weisz. She was the main victim of the story. It wasn't bad. It was a fun movie. I liked
It was fine. It was fine. Omnidog. So who out of the big two, DC and Marvel, tends to go out of print of their Omnis and Deluxe editions more?
Marvel. I want to say Marvel.
I would say that too, only because they put more out of stuff.
Yeah.
They tend to put more collected editions out of things, so they have more things go out of print. I mean, just looking at Marvel's stuff, they have omnis, trade paperbacks, oversized hardcovers, epic collections,
Box sets.
box sets. Did I say oversized hardcovers? Then they've got
the really big ass editions, like the Adamantium and the Behold Galactus.
Yeah. Then they've got trade paperbacks. They've got regular trade paperbacks. They've got bigger trade paperbacks. They put out more, so I think they have more that'll go out. Mutant Menace, Hellblazer, Constantine smoked in that, and the devil pulled the tar right out of his lungs.
Yeah.
Which was cool. Because he was willing to go to hell himself in place of somebody else.
Oh, now I really want to see it again.
Okay, pages 98 and 99 have that scene. So good. Okay, wait a sec. Let's see what he's talking about. Are the pages marked? Yes. Okay. Whoops, turned right to it. 98 and 99. Oh, cool. That is cool. You want to know what I'm talking about? Get Books of Magic and go to page 98 and 99.
Go to In Stock Trades and look for it, and then you'll
Here, I'll actually show you. There's nothing in it that I can't show you. Let's see. You can start here with Zatanna going, "The boy is under my protection. Anyone who wishes to hurt him must reckon with me. My dear Zatanna, face facts. There's one of you and over 100 of us. The child is history." So there's all kinds of demons and ghouls surrounding Zatanna and Timothy. And then some kind of Zakana. "I am the mistress of all mirrors. Woman, give me the boy, or one night your reflection will sneak out of its frame and cut your sleeping throat. Come here, little boy. Come to Hyacinth and Leander. Good boy, little boy. Come here. It's looking dire." All of a sudden, the strike of a match. There's John Constantine and a woman with bloody glass drops the bloody glass, and Constantine says, "Nobody touches that boy."
Awesome. See, now I want to get it. I want to read that.
That's right. The boy's mine, and in 30 seconds, me and him and the witch are going to walk out of here. You know who I am, or you ought to. You know my reputation now. Does anyone here really want to start something? What? Why am I listening to you? Why? I'm not listening to you, Nearman Condition.
They're talking stuff.
Are they talking shit about me while I really enjoyed it, even if it wasn't 100% accurate. The Hell Sequence was dope. Just to say this iconic touch. Even the chat just doesn't listen to me. What were you saying?
I don't
It's the meds talking? That's what I was supposed to listen to?
Yeah, he wanted meds talk. That's for, Omnibros after hours. Not this show.
Well, we've got almost 2 hours and my computer's dying. So I think it's probably time for us to wrap this up. We've already talked about in-stock trades twice. We love in-stock trades. Gio, where can they find you on the interwebs?
Well, you can find me at A Week in Geekdom, where I talk about anime, manga, comic books, movies, and everything else in between. That's A Week in Geekdom here on YouTube.
And you can find me, OmniDog, on OmniDog's Vault on YouTube and on Instagram, OmniDogs_Vault. And with that, we want to thank the chat, and thank you to Riley, who joined us earlier. And thank you to everybody in the audience who watched and didn't participate, but just sat there nicely and listened and lurked. We appreciate the lurkers too, as well as the chatters. We love our lurkers. We love our chatters. We love our audience. So on behalf, that's right. On behalf of everybody in the world that I'm not forgetting, I'm going to name everybody in the world starting right now. Okay, there's Gio, there's me, and that's it. Good night, everybody.